is about creating health, and a lot of you are on the weight loss phase still, but there's a lot beyond weight loss when we take Dr. A's Habits of Health all the way to, to the fullest and live full out. All right, so I'd like to be able to ask if there's anybody that'd like to share, and if so, just either raise your hand or take yourself off mute and start talking, or introduce yourself just because you've got some great victories to share. Oh, I hope this is not a shy crowd. I don't want to be the only one talking tonight.
Hey, Lisa, it's Jennifer.
Okay, hi, Jennifer.
Hey. Well, this isn't a new victory, but it was just a reminder to me that my grandson and son and daughter-in-law are here for dinner. We're actually going to be eating during this call, so good, healthy, lean and green. But I was on the playground with him. We have a playground right like 10 steps across the street from us, and I was going down the slide. It was one of those cylinder slides, and it was funny because last week my husband said, "You're not going to really do that, are you?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You're going to get stuck." And I'm like, "Oh, no chance. I'm not going to get stuck." And so I just did it again with him, and it was just so fun that I have energy. I can climb all over that jungle gym with him and not have a care in the world that I'm going to get stuck or I'm going to, lose energy or any of that, that I'm going to hurt myself or I don't know. So it's just really cool.
So you're going to be the fun grandma. I love it. That's terrific. You don't look old enough to be a grandma for sure. But I've seen your grandson, so I know that it is true. Congratulations on that victory. Anybody else want to introduce themselves or share a victory they've had this month, this year, this day? I'll pause for about 5 seconds. Otherwise, I'm going on to our presentation and hope you guys get brave towards the latter part of the call. Anybody? Oh, come on. I see people smiling. You want to share. I got to hear one more before I can get started. I need some energy here. Who's next?
Okay, we're going to make it grandma evening, Lisa. That's how it's going to be because Jennifer started it. And, all you have to do is talk about grandbabies, and I'm all in.
All right.
I started our program. Oh gosh, Cliff, I don't remember how long ago. Back in 2010, I've lost 200 pounds. It's been fabulous. But one of the things that I love the most right now, we have a brand new granddaughter, our only one. She is, the most beautiful child in the whole world. You know all that.
Yeah.
There is never a time that I get down and lay on my stomach and play on the floor with her that I'm not profoundly grateful that not only do I get to see her, but I can be the grandma to her that I always wanted to be. It just, oh gosh, that was supposed to be energy, and now I feel like I have to pass a tissue, but that's what I got for you, Lisa.
Well, I'm glad that you're the fun grandma too, because I think if you'd continued on the road that you've been on, that would not have been the case. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. All right, well, I am going to get started with the presentation that we're going to be doing this evening. I actually have a PowerPoint, but I'd like it to be interactive at points. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I please pray that it goes well because my technology has been really wavering on my computer here. But hopefully you can see this presentation. Habits of Health call, the topic Lead from the Future, Act in the Now. Can you all see that? Great. And I am the host, Lisa Castro, this evening. I'm a COPE certified health coach with Take Shape for Life. Been around, actually started my health journey 13 years ago. And those that don't know, I went through a major health change physically. The mental part took a little longer. And then I had also become a health coach 2 weeks into becoming a client. And so a lot has changed in having my livelihood from Take Shape for Life and the meaning and purpose that it has brought. And I just love being able to be the host of the call. I've been doing it for several years and just appreciate the honor. That being said, this is what, Lead from the Future, Act in the Now. It's like, I remember the first time we heard that as Take Shape for Life leaders. And we were in a leadership training. And it's like, I was having a hard time kind of wrapping my head around it. Yet once I really did, I realized it really lent itself to a lot of the different trainings we'd already gotten as health coaches and to be better people all the way around. And I thought, you know what, it's not just for leaders of a Take Shape for Life business, it's actually leaders in any area of your life. A leader, when you're grandma, you're a leader of your family. You're a leader at work, you're leading someone. If you're a health coach on the line, you're leading your clients. We all have a role somewhere where we are leading something. And then I started thinking, okay, well, how really could it be applied to us individually for what we want for our future? And so many of us do some things that you're going to find as this presentation unfolds, the things that we've learned that will help us move forward. But a lot of times we look at where we're at right now and we think, oh, if I only could. And we start looking at our life with all the things that are happening to us, the circumstances. I remember feeling like a victim, dealing with autoimmune disease and just having a hard time even getting out of bed. And I just thought, woe's me, and my relationships went downhill from there, and just finances were a mess. And I thought, oh man, all these other people have something I don't. When in reality, I had a lot of cool things going on in my life that I wasn't seeing that. And what we've learned is if you look to the future, first appreciate what you've got right now, and then look to the future, what you want your life to look like. In the future, if you want to be the type of person who is healthy, fit, vibrant, crawling around and going down that cylinder slide, with, like Jennifer was talking about with her grandson, like there he is sitting on her lap, what would it be like if you could actually be that person today? What if you could just magically transport yourself in time and you could be the person you wanted to be in all aspects of your life? And it's like a lot of us will say, oh, I wish I could, and sit there and fantasize about it, or look at our life and say, woe's me, or we'll compare ourselves to other people. And in reality, if we just said, if that's what I really want, what does that person do? There's something called behavior identity change, identity-based behavior change that Nick Fryer, Behaviors That Take Shape for Life, really educated me on. And I forget the name, James, if anybody knows that, you can put in the chat window. But he talks about identity-based behavior change, where if you say, I want to be a healthy person, and it's like, okay, so what does that look like for you? So what does a healthy person do? And you start asking yourself, gosh, a healthy person gets to a healthy weight. Well, how does a healthy person get to a healthy weight? And you start asking yourself, what steps would it take to become that, lose weight so I can be healthier? What else does a healthy person do? Well, they start working out. Well, if you've already been working out but you're not getting the results, you kind of look, okay, is that working? Does that healthy person do that before they're at that healthy weight? Or do they wait and take it more slowly as they get to a healthier weight and they're creating more health, then they can handle more fitness? Or it says that healthy person, what do? They read, they transform themselves personally. They learn to be a better person by developing themselves, their skills, their healthy mind, their emotions. And so you keep looking at that. If you want to be that healthy, full, vibrant person in the future, then you say, okay, today, if I'm going to be that person in the future, what would I do today to make that happen? And so then you start taking those steps, one step at a time, and you continue to make those steps. And as you advance one step over another step and another step, you will eventually be that healthy person. But if you say, oh, but that step's too hard, I just don't know if I can do it. Sometimes it's because our motivation isn't quite high enough. And so think about the things that would really just really get you excited about things. And one of them might be that you say, I want to run a marathon. Well, what does a person that want to run a marathon do? And so you start asking yourself those things. I am going to share with you, if somebody could have said, myself from my future said, hey, Lisa, it's going to be great. You're going to enjoy this kind of life. You're going to be doing this and that. And if they'd come to me the day that I was really feeling like I couldn't accomplish anything, I felt like a failure, I gave up on even trying to get to a healthier place, they would have walked into my door that day and said, it's going to be different. Truly, listen to me. I know the future. I know what it's going to be like for you. I probably would have said, sure. But you know what? There's a lot of evidence around now that it really can be better for all of us here on the line, all of us, in all aspects of our health. I'm going to show you a little illustration through a 2-minute video that was filmed probably, it would have been 2000, I'm not sure. It was about 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years by now. And Dr. A had asked us as a Take Shape for Life coaches to share something on a panel to a bunch of people that were in the room. There were, I don't know how many, well over 1,000 people. And I was nervous, but at the same time, I wanted to share something that was on my heart. It just came to me, and I shared some personal stuff. And so it's kind of hard to share this with you now, but at the same time, I know it's helped a lot of people move forward. So you ready? Let's hope it plays.
Okay. Where they are now is absolutely extraordinary, and they have life. So I want them, in their own words, to basically talk just like the conversations with yourself. I want them to have a conversation with you about what it was like before, which you already did, and now why you should aspire to look at this as being this beacon or this $1 million type of focus where it's worth going after to take shape for life.
I'm going to have a conversation with myself.
Good. I like that. That's okay.
Okay, I'm my former self. This is over 9 years ago. You need to get up. I can't get out of bed. I'm too tired. You have a lot of responsibility. You've got to get up. It's been an hour. You've been sitting, laying in bed. It hurts. We're in debt. My husband's stressed out. My birthday, my 43rd birthday, and I feel like I'm 60 years old. My kids are teenagers. I'm not the mom to them that I need to be. I run a business, but it takes me twice as long to do it because I can't think straight. My concentration's off. This autoimmune disease, this lupus, this Sjogren's, it's just eating away at me. My confidence is so low, I don't want to be around people anymore. The only safe place is in my home, and that doesn't even feel safe all the time because it's painful to hide my feelings. Nobody cares. They're not showing affection towards me, and I don't blame them. I'm not much to love right now. Here's yourself. Just wait. You have a life ahead of you that is going to be amazing. It's going to take some trials and tribulations, some, discovering yourself, figuring out what you want in your life. But it's so great that Dave and Terry introduced this program to me because they care about you. You were number 2 on their list of people to talk to. People want to be like you. And that makes you want to keep being better and better every year. And you keep making that commitment every year to be a better person, to grow a better business, to help other people be better and discover their why, or why they want to do this, why they want what they want in their life, and then helping them discover it for themselves and coming alongside them to help them do it. There can't be much more fulfillment than that. Although when you get to enjoy it in Florida, living on a bay with an infinity pool, go kayaking with the dolphins, not bad life. I share that with you because so many of us have given up hope that life can be better. And like I said, if somebody came to me back then and said it would be like it is today, which is an amazing life, full of choices, full of fulfillment, full of activities, and just energizing things and experiences. My husband and I just came back from Bali. Never would have guessed I'd be traveling across the world and experiencing different cultures and traveling together with my husband and having romantic times that, it was just like, wow, when we were barely even having a relationship. I mean, our marriage was at a place where my husband was a police officer under a lot of stress and I was in such poor health and we were just getting through the day. And so if you look at your own life and you say in your physical health, where are you? On this chart here, it talks about all the aspects of physical health that Dr. A addresses. And he has a really in-depth evaluation that's in the Habits of Health book. I really encourage you all to fill that out and see where you're at in that status and where you can improve, because that'll even give you more details of saying, okay, I'm taking care of the weight part of things. How am I doing with my eating? Okay, if you're on the 501, you're probably eating fantastic. If you're not, are you finding yourself overeating and then going back on the 501? Have you learned about healthy eating? Do you want to be that person in the future that eats well, that makes good choices because of how you feel afterwards, not because of how it tastes? So think about the physical activity. Right now, if you're on the 501 in the active stage, you're probably not doing much exercise. We don't encourage that unless you've been exercising regularly. So it might not be as much right now, but what do you want to strive to be? What kind of active person do you want to be? What social activities even? Just think about all of that, the recreational things, not just going to the gym or just running, getting your body moving. How about sleeping? How are you doing in that department? That's one I am still working on. This menopause stuff is really messing with my body. But I'll tell you, I still continually work at it. I don't just say, oh, that's just the way it is. Now I know that there's always something more that I can do. relaxation. Bali was all about that. And then safe and healthy work environment. I guess jumping out of an airplane wasn't the safest thing, but boy, was it fun. So you just keep looking at that. Now, how about your mental health? How are you doing in that department? How about most of your relationships? Man, have most of my relationships truly improved. I didn't have a whole lot left when I started Take Shape for Life. So I started living as a hermit and lost a lot of my friendships. My family is always there, which I appreciate so much. But my attitude at work, I used to own a luxury real estate magazine, and I was stressed all the time. And those pesky realtors, and I was complaining about different things and the deadlines and frustration. I didn't feel like I had meaning and purpose. How about you guys? How about spiritual time? Are you guys making time for that? If that's a value in your life, which this is, to me, the cloak over all of it. How about community service? Have you been able to give back? Do you have time to even give back? And hobbies and fun, where you have some balance in your life, doing things you enjoy. Not just because you have to do things, but something you want to do. That really contributes to the mental health, which affects the physical health. And the physical health will affect the mental health. So we want to work on those aspects. And a piece that a lot of people don't talk about is the financial health. If your finances are not in a great place, it can mess you up by being stressed out, which affects your mental health, which a lot of us, what do? Put food in our mouth. I used to put chocolate over and over in my mouth to deal with stress or fatigue or tiredness or boredom or sadness or whatever. I would feed that emotion with food. I bet you there's other people on this call that have done exactly the same. But if we find ourselves in a place where finances, and it looks different to everyone, what feels comfortable and what doesn't. Some will say, gosh, I wish I could afford this or that. And some just would like to be able to pay their bills comfortably. But that's going to be up to you. But if you're not productive at work, your pay is probably not going to go up from a pay raise or a promotion. If you're a health coach on the line, you're probably, knowing that the finances, as you increase that, is going to affect everything else. So we just know we're going to be more productive and be a better inspiration to other people. We have all aspects of that health. So I just want you to look at that and get an overview, because I want you to be thinking about what would your life look like in the future. And if you need to go 5 years out, like I did, 5 years from now, I'm going to have my toes in the sand. I'm going to feel the beach, see the ocean in front of me. I've got the warm sun, about 84, 85 degrees, not being too picky about that one, and a slight breeze on my face, and sitting on the beach with my husband having our MetaFast meal and talking about the people coming to visit us. Didn't know where it was yet. I just knew that that's what I envisioned. Guess where we live today? We live in Florida on the #1 beach in America, Siesta Key. And it's like so cool to be able to experience in that and have people come to our house and experience a retreat-like environment and be able to share that with others. That affects my physical health, my mental health, and because of our finances, we have all of that. So you just think, what could my life look like? Look in the future. What did I need to do to be able to do that? But if I said, oh, but I'm so unhealthy, how could I possibly have a good life? Instead, I said, I want the good life. What would I do now that I'm unhealthy that I can move towards having that life? It could be big and gigantic, or it could be a smaller one. You start where you have faith that you can actually accomplish it. And then kind of light a fire under yourself to do a little bit more than that. Because we want you dreaming about what matters most to you. It has nothing to do with my choices and what's important to me. I love traveling. I love doing things that are a little more daredevilish now, because I want to experience life. For many years, I was mostly in bed and fatigued and not wanting to do anything because I didn't have the energy. I want to live full out. How about you? If you knew you couldn't fail, would you want to go for it? What if you did fail? We talked about that last time I talked. What if you did fail and you just learned from it and then you went on to the next thing? What could I learn from that to move forward? But if you look at a failure as you're done, you are done. But if you look at it as a failure, it's just the lesson you're going to learn to be able to create that life in the future. It's a pretty cool place to be. So that has to do with our mental health. So I'm using strategies that I'm talking about here from Dr. Ace, Living a Longer, Healthier Life. If you guys don't know what that is, I know some people, you're doing a really good job of getting into the Habits of Health book. But how many of you are utilizing this book? It's called Living a Longer, Healthier Book or Life. It's the workbook that goes along with the Habits of Health. And Dr. A is guiding you through lesson by lesson of how to create the healthier life. And in there, he uses something called structural dynamics. And it's where you look at what you want your future to be. And then you look at where you're at now. And you say, what action steps am I willing to do to get to where I want to be? And it's all in this book that you might not even realize. each lesson is built to improve on the next one. That's, you've got your base of why you're doing it, and then how you're doing it goes throughout the book. And then if you haven't read Dr. A's book, Stop, Challenge, Choose, it is all about creating the life that you want, your desired outcome. He says, stop the reaction to something, challenge yourself, what you're doing and what you want, and then choose the action that's going to lead to your desired outcome. I ask myself, will this get me closer to or further away from my goal? And then I choose. I can choose to be further away, or I can choose to go towards it. My choice. But I'm going to choose a vast majority of the time to go towards what my desired outcome is. So identity-based behavior change is another one that I was talking about from Nick Fry that he shared with me and gave me some schooling on it. We had some habits of health calls in the past on that. And he was talking about, again, thinking, where do I want to be in my life, or who do I want to be in my life, that I will do the actions necessary to be able to accomplish that. And then every time you do something along those lines, we call it a win. So let's say we'll break it down to something as simple as, you say you're going to be a healthy person, and it's going to start with you going on the 501 plan. The 501 plan, it might be that, yes, I decided to do the 501 plan. There's a victory. Some of you, it might be that you had your first shake. Yay, I actually won today because I've been struggling with my program, and today I did my first meal of the day. All right, victory. Win. Next one, 2.5 hours later, had another one. Win. All right, nothing in between. I did it. And then you get through one day of doing those wins. And then pretty soon you're challenging yourself. I can make it through a whole day and call it a win. Then pretty soon you're making it through a whole week and you can call it a win. And then you can make it through a whole month and call it a win. And then pretty soon you're saying, I am at that healthy weight. I've already incorporated a walking program, maybe even a core program by this. Now I can do this. You know what? I'm going to start training because that's what a healthy person does. I'm going to start getting out and be more social because that's what a healthy person does. And during the weight loss phase, you might have been reading some books because that's what a healthy person does. You might have reached out to others to help them and inspire them because that's what a healthy-minded person does. They want to help others. So you just think about that. What do you want in the future that you can act on now so that you will have it in incremental steps? I hope that's making sense to you. I'm going to leave it open for some questions after a couple more slides. So it boils down to, where do you want to be? And then you look at where you are now, and then those action steps in between that will actually lead you to that. So if I said I want to be this healthy person with a lean body composition where I'm feeling good and I'm feeling fit, that I keep choosing to have my hamburger and fries and chase it with a little chocolate afterwards, it ain't happening. So you look at your life and say, what am I willing to change? And this was me on the left-hand side right before I started the program. And that's me on the left-hand side more recently. Totally changed not only my health, but my weight and my fitness, obviously. So I think, how can I get to be that person? I'm going to play that again for you, I think. Now, let you guys visualize that. I wanted you to see that so you can see in your own mind where you are and where you want to be. But first think, where do you want to be? Then look at where you're at. Because you might lower your standard if you look where you're at instead of where you want to be. And then imagine yourself already there. Visualize it to the point where it's in detail. Because you're going to be asking yourself, do I want it to be different? Why do I want it to be different? What am I willing to do differently to have it? Something's got to break the pattern. If you're not getting where you want to be, reach out for some support. Reach out to your health coach. Reach out to Nick Fry at Take Shape for Life, the behaviorist. Reach out to someone that loves you and cares about you, and surround yourself with people that will support you on your goals to create health. Utilize Dr. A's Stop, Challenge, Choose. Read his book. He talks about how to break cycles of habits and turn them into habits that you do want, creating new neural pathways in your brain that the old habits start fading away because you've done the new habits so many times that it's not easy to fall back into those old ways. It took me a while to get over my chocolate addiction. I thought I was doing pretty good, but I fell short a couple of times where I overdid it. But now each year, it's like, no problem. Even Easter. I don't even know if I had any chocolate on Easter because I think I challenged myself not to, even though I could have. So what do you want your life to look like? I'm giving you that picture now. Again, who is that person for you that's at the top of those stairs? Who is it you want it to be? Who do you envision it to be for yourself? Now put yourself where you're at currently at the bottom of the stairs. Are you willing to go up that many stairs with support of your coach, with support of the people that care about you, with the help community that you are surrounded with? Possibly even if you're a coach, you're around other like-minded people that keep you in that community of healthy people. What is it that you would want to do that would be that next step? And if you don't know what it is, reach out to that person. Okay, how can I become that person? And then break it down into smaller increments that you know, okay, I can make it to the first 2 steps. And then as you're making those first 2 steps, then you're thinking about those next 2 steps, because if I can do through those next 2 steps, then I'll already have my goal on the other side and know I'll keep going. And then as I'm going through those 4 steps, I'm already thinking about steps 5 and 6, so I can make it through there. And then when I'm going through 5 and 6, I already know what 7 and 8 are going to be. And I just keep going, that I know I will actually get to where I want to be. Even if somebody puts a toy on the stair and I might fall backwards a little bit, I know how to get back up there again because I've done it already. I have more experience. It'll be faster this time. What could you do? Become the person you are meant to be. No longer living in fear, doubt. Go forward in faith that you truly can do it with support. And if you're saying, but I don't, what I can't, find yourself saying, how can I? What could I put in place? Ask yourself questions that will move you forward and not beat you down, but lift you up. Surround yourself with people, again, that will help you actually accomplish that. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I have about 2 minutes that I would love for somebody to come off and ask a question or share your thoughts. Mike, are you gonna speak up there? I can see you kind of a little antsy about it, so I'd love for you to speak up and share some thoughts.
For sure. Thanks so much. This has been awesome. Wow, I see this playing out right now, which is exciting. And I'm using these steps. I'm doing all those things, and it works. And I would encourage everybody to look at this like the 5-in-1 plan, and look at, if you modify the 5-in-1 plan, you're going to get modified results. Same thing with this kind of mentality, and seeing into the future and acting into the now. That's what I've been doing. I've just been kind of following these steps and following these ideas and this mentality of really looking into the future, figuring out how to do that with being content with where I am and enjoying where I am and enjoying the journey. But at the same time, I've got that tension pulling me forward. It's the best feeling in the world. It's so cool. And that's what I've been experiencing these last, since I've been coaching, last year and a half.
And I gotta say, I've been enjoying your smile getting bigger and bigger as it's happening too.
That's part of the deal, I guess. So
enjoying your life, and it's so wonderful, and it's so infectious too, because you've helped so many other people to have that same mindset. So thank you for your contribution to helping others.
Thank you. Cool.
Anybody else want to share? Do I have to call on you? That's not right. Okay, let's see. Now everybody's gonna say, no, not me. And okay, I seriously would love to hear from one other. Oh, I think I saw Roberta. Roberta, are you on there? If so, can you take yourself off mute? I'm trying to see if I saw her on there. Maybe she's hiding now. Nope, don't see her on there after all. Or unless she's grandma there. Grandma, yes, you are on there. Can you take yourself off mute? I don't know if she knows how. Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay, I'm on now.
Yeah, Roberta, will you share a little bit about what our conversation was about and how your life has changed?
My life has changed dramatically. In 2014, I started Take Shape for Life, and I've done everything known to mankind to get the weight off. It took me a little over a year. July of last year, I reached goal. And this year, my goal is to climb a mountain. And we've already booked the climb to the top of Mount St. Helens. And I know it's not a huge mountain, but I'm so excited. This 70-plus-year-old body is going to go to the top of a mountain for the first time in her life. And I couldn't have dreamed that a year ago. I mean,
Love it.
Everything has changed. My smile, my habits, what I'm doing to live healthy, to share it with friends. It's amazing. It's just happiness.
You said it was even affecting your relationship with your husband.
It has. It truly has.
That's wonderful. And their outlook on life. So many people describe that as now the possibilities open up. Just like what you said, now you can dream about those things. So that's really cool.
It's endless. And the interesting thing is, I think I've shifted friendship groups. I've had to drop back 20 years to find friends young enough, old enough, whatever, active enough to keep up with me now.
I love it.
That's the fun thing. My age group can't hike with me anymore.
That's great. So you see all spectrums. Young Mike, he's probably thinking, I'm not that young, but he's young to us, right?
Right, he's very young.
Yes, to see the families with young kids and how they get to make changes for their family's life and create that healthy environment that they get to grow up in that instead of having the struggles that some of us adults have been living in, unhealthy habits for so long. We actually can help the new generation live better than we ever thought we could. So I love it. Thank you guys all for being on the call tonight. Thank you, Roberta, for sharing and Mike for sharing. It makes the call so much more interesting when it's not just my voice. But I hope you guys gathered a lot of information, helping with the mindset and what health is going to look like. And I just saw myself on camera and I thought, oh, okay, I forgot that I'm in my workout clothes. Sorry I didn't get a chance to take a shower before I got on. But at the same time, it's my life and I love it. So you guys have a fantastic evening. And there's a doctor's call to follow. If anybody wants to put in the chat room with that doctor's call number, that is, you're welcome to go on there. Especially if you're dealing with like type 2 diabetes or you're wondering about your blood pressure medication, or you might be struggling with any kind of health issues and you're wondering how you can adapt your program, or if, you might have to adjust your medication and the doctors can help guide you in that. So thank you so much for being on the call, and I'm going to sign off myself and I'm going to turn the camera off and the mute it, and then you guys can go ahead and write down the number. If somebody, did somebody write that number down? I apologize, I don't have it on me. But your health coach would know the ID number if you want to get on the doctor's call. And it's just a phone call versus a Zoom call.
Hey, Lisa, can you all see the screen share?
Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay,
so the numbers are all there for you guys.
All right, I see the Habits of Health call number. Where's the doctor's call number?
Very first one. The very first one. So for the doctor's call, it's 712-832-8330 and enter PIN 436-6777.
Oh gosh, okay, for both calls. I see that down below. I was looking right by the doctor's call. So thank you very much for that. Sure, you always can count on Shirley for that. And thank you, Cliff, for helping with the IT stuff. It was wonderful. All right, guys, we'll call it a night. Thank you. Bye-bye.